see. So we'll see as people come in, right?
I think as they type in the chat only.
Okay, well then welcome everyone. We're so glad you're here. As you're coming in, please help us out by typing in the chat the grades or ages of the students with which you're currently working.
Absolutely. Welcome. Got a nice fall background. Ready for fall?
Oh, here it is. Ashley
Yay.
Belcir is here from Los Angeles. We have people from Toledo. Well, they're telling us, welcome. We're glad you're here. Can you tell us also the ages of the children with whom you're working? That would be so helpful.
Yes.
Oh, we have a first grade person, fours and fives. Another first grade teacher. This is fantastic.
TK.
Let's see anyone.
Hmm. 4 and 5.
Oh, 2 to 5
Some
and 3 to 5.
pre-K, 3 to 4s, 3 to 5s.
So we have somebody who is teaching K second.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Oh, we have somebody from Canada, Vancouver, teaching kindergarten. Welcome, Kathy.
Okay. Great. All right. Well, it sounds like we have the gamut.
Yeah,
Perfect, because what
fortunately.
we have to share is going to be really useful to everybody. Not everything will be great for everybody, but we'll all be able to leave here hopefully with some ideas of how you can um, bring in daily routines that are joyful and that can really promote logical mathematical thinking. So, with that said, let's get started, Veronica.
Yep. All right.
Oh, by the way, we should say a little bit, right? That we
Yeah.
both work for Erickson Institute. Um, and Erickson Institute is in Chicago. And Veronica and I have been part of the Early Math Collaborative for many, many, many years.
Absolutely.
We're very excited to be with you here tonight to share with you some of these routines that we hope you'll want to bring to your classroom right away. And the resources we're sharing with you will allow you to be able to do that if you like the routines.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Mhm.
All right, Rebecca, you kick us off,
All
right?
right. So here's the plan for our time together. We're going to share 3 routines that promote logical mathematical thinking. And those routines are: is it fair? Then the second one is called Who's Hiding? And then we will show some quick images using hundredths frames that obviously are great for first and second graders, but the ideas can also be used with the younger children. And you'll also see that Is It Fair can also be adapted up or down depending on the grade with which you're working. We will explore how to use these routines to engage children in mathematical brain games, and we will share specific facilitation tips that can support you in getting these routines off and running in your classroom and getting the children thinking mathematically. Let's get started now, Veronica.
Yep. Do you want me to click them, Rebecca?
Sure.
Okay.
So um, the first one is called Is It Fair? And so we're going to be showing you um, some images, and we're going to ask you to give us a thumbs up if you think that both images are fair, a thumbs down if you think they're not fair, and an in between thumb if maybe yes, maybe no. Okay. Um, so, and as we're doing this, um, you will be participating in doing the activity, but we also want you to think about what would be the context within which you would be using this routine to develop problem solving strategies and habits of mind. What is the role of the teacher or if there's a parent in doing this? So, what you will see me doing, and what happens to the learner when they're given the space to think. So, these are the things that we'll want you to think about as you're doing. So, three things to consider when using this routine is how you introduce the context matters. So, that's important. How you structure the activity is critical. And then assessing as you go to decide how fast you go, what sizes of the images that you're going to show, who you're going to ask to clarify their thinking. That's also part of it. So the routine happens at snack time, and Veronica is going to flash some um, images, and we will say whether we think it's fair, not fair, or we're not sure. Okay.
All right, here we go.
Is it fair? Okay, thumbs up or thumbs down. Oh, is it fair what Emilio and Marta have? Give us some sign of what you think. Is it fair? Would they be happy if this is what came on their plate? Assuming they like goldfish, of course. What do you
Right.
think, Veronica? Is it fair?
I think
Yeah,
it's
all right.
fair. I think.
Emilio has three, Marta has three.
Mhm.
And so, yeah, it's fair. Let's keep going. Let's see if the next one is fair. Yes or no? Yeah, they can say yes or no. Absolutely. So
Yeah.
just tell us if it's easier, just tell us yes or no. Here we go. What's the next one?
Here we go.
Okay. Would
Yeah.
Emilio and Marta be happy now? Is it fair?
So no.
Sabrina's saying yes.
Okay. Oh, well, there are thumbs up. Okay, cool. Yes.
Thumbs up. Yes.
Lots of thumbs
They're
up.
both of them are three goldfish.
Mhm.
One is horizontally organized and the other one vertical, but the quantity is the same. Let's see. Is it fair? Yes or no? Hmm.
Hmm.
What are you thinking,
Is it
Veronica?
fair?
You're thinking
I
it's not
say
fair?
no.
No? Why
Not fair because I don't like pretzels.
not?
I want the goldfish.
So sometimes we know, particularly with the very young children, those of you who have threes and fours, they may not be focusing on the quantity, but they may be focusing on things they like and not like. So that's just something to know that how you would, but how they would explain it, right? Another child may say it's not fair because there's a lot more pretzel than there is a goldfish. So they're getting more, the pretzel ones, because they're looking at the amount of space that the pretzels are holding on the paper. So they might go by that and think that it's not fair. Yes, there's three, but the pretzels have more. So it really is not about trying to prove whether Emilio is right or Marta is right or whatever, but it's more about getting the conversation going, right? And having the children articulate why it is that they think it's fair or not fair. And of course, disagreements are the best thing because then it really pushes the children to want to talk about it and give their rationale for why yes or no.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see. Aha, is it fair? And once again, here, certain children will say, no, it's not fair. Emilio got more because it's taller, right? But at some point, the children are going to say, yes, it's fair because they both got 3. So it's, and of course, this is only, we're thinking, we knew we were going to possibly have teachers with very young children. So those would be really promoting the subitizing of quantities up to 3. But then you can also do it differently and
Yeah.
to say, is it fair? So that we can adapt it up or down.
Yeah.
Let's see. Okay, so here is starting to think the early multiplication idea. So moving away from unitizing of one, but beginning to think of groups. Let's look at what this would look like. Okay, once again, it's the same routine. The children will say, is it fair or not fair? And so what do people think?
I think
Fair or not fair? What are you thinking, Veronica?
it's not fair. I think one plate had more than the other one.
Oh, okay. So see, the notice is that you show it as a quick look, hoping to push the children to begin to think about it as a group. So then you might say, oh, Veronica thinks that it's not fair. Who agrees? Give me a me too. Who thinks it is fair? So now let's go back and look at it. And so then you would show it and you would say, oh, Veronica, you said that there were you thought that there were more in one and in the other. How did you see more?
Yeah. I saw Emilio had one more group of 4 pretzels. And mine is missing a group of 4.
So we're not really interested in hearing that it's 16, sorry, yeah, what? Yeah, the quantity, we're interested in pushing the children to think about one has one more group than the other, and that these equal groups are helping figure it out. So you can see how this could really be a wonderful conversation in a second grade class, to really be pushing them to begin to be thinking about the groups.
All right, let's see what else we got here.
Oh, so once again, we've rearranged how they are on the page, and we want the children to be able to pay attention that the arrangement is an important information, but we're really paying attention to the quantity of the groups. And so that's like really an important habit of mine that we want the children to develop, this idea that the same quantity can look differently as it's arranged, because that's also the beginning of understanding the different kinds of arrays. So and kids love this. It's a fast way to do it. In this one, we would be hoping to the kids to say, no, it's not fair because Marta has one more group than Emilio does, right? Because we're pushing them to subitize the groups, to subitize the 4 and 1 more, so that they can really begin to think about that, not just in individual ones, but now in groups. So it's a very easy, fast routine that the children really enjoy doing. And the thing is we're sharing with you some slides, but you can make some more depending on the group of the children that you're working with. And see, so um, the context is snack time. All the children can understand that. But the objective is to really support important mathematical ideas like comparison, equivalence, and of course, unification. And children's ability to communicate, that's really important, and be able to justify their thinking. And what a wonderful way to practice getting good at justifying your thinking when the question that you're being asked is not so cognitively demanding that it makes it so hard to focus on the language. And of course, there's the opportunity for the children to handle ambiguity, which we want to say, well, it is fair if we were looking at the quantity, but it may not be fair if you're paying attention to what somebody likes versus what somebody else doesn't. So it's really supporting all of those ideas. So now we're going to move to another routine which children love, that is called Who's Hiding? Right, Veronica?
That's right. So I am going to show you. Actually, I think I can go to the next slide, right? Yes. I'm going to show you this puzzle, but underneath this puzzle is a picture. And I'm going to start taking away a piece or two away at a time. And your job is to start thinking about who could be hiding behind this puzzle. So you won't know it right away, but each time I take a piece off, I'm going to ask that you describe what you see. Okay. And when you figure it out, don't give it away right away, because just the way the pieces come off on here, you may know it right away, but don't give it away. Let's give other people a
Oh,
chance.
Vero, I just saw a question before we start into the Who's Hiding,
Okay.
so that we
Yeah.
don't forget. It relates to the previous routine, and I think it's an important one.
Yeah.
And the question is from Monica, who's asking, do you follow up with counting out the amount to show if they are fair or not? Um, so I think that it depends what your purpose is. So it, like, if my purpose was for the children to pay attention to the groups and that way to know which one has more, then count how many exactly would not be useful, right? Unless I know that the children already can do skip counting by 4, right? I'm more interested in then saying, I know it's not fair because Monica has 5 groups of 4 than Emilio, who only has 4 groups of 4. So knowing the entire quantity would not be what I would be emphasizing here. Does that make sense? Because my goal, and that's why I created these images, is for the children to be able to see that you can also know how many there are by looking at groups of equal size. Okay, so now we can go on to the Who's Hiding. Sorry, Veronica.
No, that's okay. I'm glad you caught that. And I'm glad I figured out what the highlighting does. So did you see the question come up on the bottom? That was cool.
Yes, I did. That's exciting. So keep questions coming, so we will
Yes.
address them.
Okay. Can we ask follow-up questions that help them justify their answers?
Absolutely, but remember, it's a routine. You don't want it to be long, right? So absolutely, you could say, Veronica, why do you think it's not fair, right? Who agrees with Veronica? Who has another reason why they think it's not fair? So timing in all of these routines is really important. We don't want it to get stuck. You'll always get a chance to do it again. That's why it's called a routine, rather than just focusing on making sure that everybody got a chance to talk um, when I did this. So yes, but that's what I said, is that you assess as you go along the way, making sure that you're keeping it peppy, because it's a routine, and you want it to I mean, you don't just want to get through the deck, but you're really trying to um, accomplish conversation. But at the same time, you want to get to the other one so you get more kids the opportunity to talk. Because it's not just about the ones who are going to get it right away, but it's also about the ones who may be brave enough to say, I think it's fair. And the answer is yes. So I would say, so Rebecca, why do you think it's fair? Right? So it's an opportunity for you to hear the voices of the children who you may not usually hear from. So in many ways, it democratizes it, and it lowers the threshold so that the children can begin to see their agency as mathematicians, that they have something to contribute to the conversation. And the other kids begin to see that person as somebody who is is not just quiet, but can have something to say. I think that's really important. All right. Who's hiding, Veronica?
All right. So again, I will be removing puzzle pieces, and I just want you to describe what you see um, behind that piece. All right, here we go. That's right. Describe what you see. All right. So here we see a little bit of the picture. What do you see? What do you see, Rebecca?
I see green and white
See green and white.
and a little bit of black or brown,
Oh, yeah.
like a
See
spot.
some
It
darker
looks like two
shading.
eyes or something.
Maybe it's two eyes. Yeah, we don't quite know yet. We might need some more clues here. Let's see if removing some pieces. Oh, I see somebody said it's green. Okay.
Oh, somebody says that they're the
Let's see
eyes
now.
and it looks slimy. What great work.
Oh, ah, green animals,
Some
slimy. It's
people think there's
green
a leg
and
there,
brown.
the leg
Oh,
animal.
maybe it's a leg. Oh, maybe it's a frog neck. Oh my goodness, different
Somebody
shades of
looks like there's
green.
like a reflection. It might be water, somebody
Oh,
says.
or maybe two humps. Yeah. Hmm. All right, let's see. Let's keep going. You guys are describing such good things, such descriptive language. Ooh, I wonder what you see now. Hmm.
Oh, somebody said a leaf.
Oh,
Uh, oh, somebody said a leaf in the water. On the water, sorry.
am I missing some? Huh. I must not be seeing all of them. Okay. Side. Oh, now we see some white, Sophia says. Somebody says they think it's a baby frog. Oh, some scales. Um,
A log
no.
and bumpies.
Oh, yes, I see that. Little bumpies, kind of
Scaly, look at that
circles.
word.
Reptile on its back. Frog laying down, hands up. My goodness, with a reflective wavy green color at the bottom. Oh my goodness. Lots of great ideas just from looking at little pieces of a picture. Oh my,
Oh, somebody said what I saw as eyes are not eyes. I see an eye coming out.
oh, you see an eye now? I
Oh
wonder
my God. Now
what
there's
it
a
is. You see
cascade
that?
of people saying it's a frog. A frog
Mm-hmm.
saying.
Frog sleeping. What? A big frog. I wonder what you see makes you think it's big. Oh, a lily pad, maybe I see. Okay. Oh, maybe it's a nose. It could be. Let's get some more clues going. Can you guess who's hiding now?
Any people who guessed before, how are you feeling?
Yes, I'm so impressed with people who guessed this right away. I would never imagine a dog just
Frog.
chilling with on his back. Well, I gotta show that, right? So
There it is.
yes, head with eyes
So
on its
inviting, right?
hands. Yes, so funny. Oh, you guys are good. But you get the idea and you see that kids would have so much fun with this. I did see several questions asked about whether these slides will be available with the puzzle pieces, and the answer is yes. Um, there will be 3 PowerPoints that we've included as handouts. So a couple of the slides of Rebecca's snack pictures that you all can make your own. Um, this puzzle configuration that you can switch out the picture to as well. And then our last activity as well. So yeah, those will all be included in the handouts.
But
What would
what's
you?
math about this, Veronica?
Oh yeah, let's get to that, huh? Um,
Oh, this
oh,
is what Angela said.
yeah, these are just examples of what kids might say. I think you guys said a majority of these, including, right, kids maybe guessing at something like Rebecca had said initially that she thought they were eyes. And they didn't turn out to be eyes. And somebody said that in the chat, right? That they thought it was eyes, but it wasn't. And again, the point here is not to get the right answer. It is for children to describe what they're seeing and problem solve, right? To have conversation, to listen to one another and listen to each other's clues as well. Um, and yeah, what does this have to do with math? Well, in math, we do need to slow down and observe. Um, we need to build things by putting things together and taking them apart, right? It helps to make predictions. And then when we do have predictions, to test those out. And if we are wrong, it's okay that we're wrong, but we're going to revise our thinking and continue forward, right? All of those things are very valuable mathematical um, concepts and
And habits of mind, right?
habits of mind. That was the word I was looking for. Thank you, Rebecca.
Yeah. So
Abs-
so imagine if all of us, and we did all of this in such a delightful, um, fun way.
yes, absolutely. There's a puzzle. I mean, it's a problem they're trying to figure out. It's so joyful. And just in doing this in classrooms with kids, you will definitely hear, like, oh, it's the best ever. And they will want to do this over and over again. Just like you all said, it is so much fun. And they could do this all the time. So again, just routines that are pretty quick, but definitely engaging and fun. And kids want of it, right? Kids want to share their ideas and be involved in
And talk
this.
about an equitable routine, an equitable opportunity for multiple voices to be heard, for children that we often don't hear about. If you're working with English learners, there's so many opportunities for them to participate if they can't do it in the language of instruction. So it really, it just, it's such an economical routine because that you don't require a lot of materials at all. You don't need a lot of time to do it, and yet you get so much for your buck. So it's a really worthwhile activity to do. I mean, routines to do. Yeah. So we're going to end with the routine that we're calling quick images with the 100 frame. And just to be clear, you would never do this routine unless children were familiar with the 100th frame. And when we say familiar, is that they look at a grid and they understand that there are going to be 10 rows of 10 cubes, right? So that they look at this and they don't need to count it. They know this is 100 frame. So for children for whom this is already a given, then this is the perfect routine. And if not, as I said, you will see how you will be able to adapt it for the children with much smaller quantities. So, okay, so we're assuming that we know that this is a 100th frame, and so we have three um, things that we can say. We're going to look at, um, are there more red cubes, less red cubes, or the same number of red cubes as there are blue cubes? Okay, so that's our task. So Veronica is going to flash quickly an image and then take it away. Are there more red, or are there more or are there less red in this picture? And the answer, of course, you can give it to us, but I'm looking at the time, so we're going to answer for you. There are more, there are less red,
Less
right?
red.
Because we are focusing here on children being able to use less, which is such a complicated um, concept. It's much easier for the children. If I asked, are there more blue or red? The kids would have been able to say very quickly, there's a lot more uh, blue. Okay, let's keep going.
Okay.
Okay. Are there more red? And the answer is we would want the children to tell us that they are the same, right? And then you could say, how do you know that they're the same? And you would be wanting to hear things like, because half is blue and half is red, or the same number of rows are blue as there are red, right? But here we're trying to emphasize the idea of half. Okay.
Okay.
Are there more red, less red, or the same number of red and blue cubes? And the answer would come very quickly, as I said before, because people can see more quickly than they can see less. Okay, when they're at least organized that way. Now it's more complicated, right? Because now we've separated the colors by the rows. And once again, this is promoting the idea of the children being able to see the groups, right? That's why you show it fast and not the same. And here you're expecting the children to give you a rationale for why they think it's more, it's less, or it's the same. Okay, let's see the next one. Aha. And did you see, very important, Veronica gave us enough time to be able to not just see, but be able to say that there's the same number of red as there is blue. And how would I know? Because the it's it's divided, it's cut into four, and I can see that there's the same number of red on two of the corners as there are of the blue ones, right? So with the second graders, you might begin to, some kids might be exploring the idea that it's cut into four pieces, and two pieces are blue and two pieces are red. That's why they're the same. So you can really be focusing on whatever it is that you want the children to be paying attention to by how you color your grid for this same activity. So you can make it go up or you can make it come down, right? Now, these are activities that we recommend not to do before first or second grade, because the idea is that using images, the children are going to tell us if the images that they're going to say represent the mathematical expression. So let's take a look. So the expression is 20 plus 80. Let's look at the image and we're going to say if it's true or not true. True. 20 plus 80. So this is true. And if you ask me why, because there are only two rows of red. So that means that there's 20 and there's many more. So, and I know that if 20 are red, then and the other ones are blue, there's got to be eight, because now I understand that eight and two more is 10, and 20 plus 80 therefore would be 100, right? So we're now expecting that the children are going to be using their mathematical understanding, but supported visually. So this time the expression is 80 plus 20. Sounds like it's the same, but let's look at the picture. 80 plus 20. That is false. And then you would ask me, Veronica, why is it false?
Because there was 3 rows this time, so it can't be 20.
Aha, because 30 is 10 more than 20. So it's a false representation of that expression. Okay, so you see you're really upping the ante. Now we have 20 plus 80. Is that true or false, Veronica?
It's true because now there's 2 rows of blue, so it's still 20, but now there's 80 red. Did I have the colors right?
Right, right. Because remember, this is not less. Oh, I think I got false. Yeah, people are giving me. The last one was false, but here you're pushing for the commutative property, right? That 80 plus 20. We're not talking about red or blue. We're just talking, does it represent it? And so it's still representing the 20 plus 80. Okay, what about 40 plus 60? Start thinking what it's going to look like. Oh, you made it tricky, Veronica. True or false? Because now and the answer is
It was false. Yeah.
because you can very quickly see the 3 and 2 more of the 50, right? Whether you're paying attention to the 2 blues or the 2 reds, you know what's going to be the rest. So you're really kind of filling in the missing addend just by visually representing this. What are first and second grade teachers thinking about this? Tell us. Okay, let's do 40 plus 60. Okay, so
That was an easy one.
yeah, that. So Veronica, I'm looking at the time, so I
Yeah.
think people got the idea of what this is like. Let's just go
Yeah.
back to the slide that talks about the benefits of this and
Yeah.
think about that. So you can see how you can manipulate to help the children think about whatever it is that you're working with in the classroom. So the objectives are once again uh, to remember that how you introduce the context matters, how you structure the activity is critical, and assessing as you go um, to inform the choices that you're making as a teacher. So you can see that these 3 routines um, are focused on visual number sense. So it's really supporting the visual number sense to encourage communication and logical mathematical thinking. Um, so they're easy to implement. And so we know that, go ahead, Veronica.
Yeah. That learning math is not just a process of acquiring a set of facts or procedures, but it's a process of becoming someone who participates in a community that does mathematical work. And we use math to collaborate and to communicate ideas to one another, right? We use math to make sense of problems that are interesting and engaging and complex. We also use mathematics to justify um, their our ideas and work to convince others of the validity of those ideas, and make sense of the justifications that others put out, right? And to try to either understand it or critique it or build on their thinking, right? It's about a community helping each other make sense of math and logic. And yeah, we get to that by explaining our thinking. So getting children to do that really is helpful in these fun and engaging ways.
Yeah, and
um,
Just to finish up, we wanted to let you know that these ideas come from Tony Cameron. And we certainly believe in the power of play in learning. We believe the power of play can be generated through rich contexts. And we believe that the role of the teacher is to find ways to empower children to think. And that's the essence of effective pedagogy.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I think that there were a couple of questions from the earlier routine that not the who's hiding, but is it fair? If we
Mm.
explain what fair means, absolutely, right? That's why you notice me saying that will the children be happy if they like goldfish to get this number? You know, would Emilio and Marta have been happy? So that the idea is that fair means assuming they both like the same snack the same, they want to get the same ones. So yeah, so that's one way to talk about fairness, that they're getting the same amount um, in this context. Um, yeah.
Yeah, a lot of people are making connections to number talks. Absolutely.
Yeah, there's a lot about this about number talks, but in many ways I mean it depends on the number talk, but I think that the floor is lower in this situation, right? Because kids understand fairness very early on. So that, and who's hiding, what a better thing, right? We kids love playing hide and seek and trying to figure out who's hiding. Think about peekaboo and things like that. So even very young children. So it just one of the things that makes it so open and inviting for children to participate. We adjust the 100th frame to 10. Yes, absolutely, Kelly. Yes, Kelly's question is, can we adjust the 100th frame um, to add to this same routine? And so, yes, that's why I'm saying that the routines are very versatile. You can go up, you can go down. Hmm. Yeah. Other questions? Oh, people like the ideas, Veronica.
Yeah, good.
I didn't mean to do that, but there it went.
All right.
Well, is there a survey?
Yes. I think we're just supposed to remind you all to take the quick survey you all received. And otherwise, if there's not any other questions, thank you
Well,
for joining us today.
yes, and try it. Try it. You will see how much the children will love it. Oh, great. Elaine is going to go try it.
Awesome. Okay, go on next.
Have a good rest of of the session.
Cheryl is asking how
Oh,
to access the slides. That is,
handouts.
yeah. Um, Lisa, do you know how they access the slides?
The handouts that are PowerPoint so that they can use these that we sent to you guys.
Somebody had mentioned,
That they had seen them.
yeah, that when you come out of full screen, that they're at the bottom somewhere, but I don't see that either.
Yeah, but we may not be seeing what they're seeing.
Oh, that's true.
I think that if it's not obvious, you should ask because we know they have them. So,
Yeah. Okay.
also they will be available later with the recordings. Lisa is saying.
Okay.
So if you don't get them right away, in 2 weeks, I think is when the recordings of the entire event will be available to us, and it will come with that. All right.
Okay.
Well, have a great evening. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you.